How's it going, folks? I just saw the trailer to Dhurandhar The Revenge. And, dude, I'm so hyped for this movie. This is the most hyped movie of the year for me. I saw the first one relatively recently because I unfortunately missed it in the theaters. You know, if I was in a bigger city, I'm sure the movie would be playing longer for me. But this movie came out for like a week. No, not even a week. It came out like for 2 days in my local theater and it was gone. So I was like, damn, man, I gotta watch this and when it hits like freaking streaming. So I waited and I finally saw it. Kicks ass, acting, action, special effects, editing, direction, everything was freaking great. Loved it. Now, moving on to the trailer for this new one. There's one main thing I want to talk about. All right, so there's a bunch of stuff that's happening in the trailer, and I'm not going to talk about it because I'm sure other YouTubers are going to talk about the main points. There's one main thing that I just don't see many people talk about, which is who the heck was Jaskirat Singh Rangi. Now, I don't know who he was, but I got two theories. So, he's not a real guy. That's one thing for sure. We know he ain't real, but he's based on some true fellas. But we don't know who they are. That being said, I got two theories. I think theory one, well, actually both theories. So both theories have to do with the 1984 Sikh genocide. All right, not good, very bad. So now theory one is that, you know, of course he's too young to have been like, okay, the genocide happens, and in the same week he takes badla. Nay, he's too young. He'd be, if he's 33 in the first one, which is around 2009. If he's 33 then, he'd be what, like 8 or 6 or 8 back then. Ain't no way he's taking revenge then, man. Ain't no way a fucking 8-year-old is coming. Marunga. There's no way. But here's what I think happens in theory one. Maybe he sees his entire freaking family getting cooked during the genocide, which is fucked up. And that will mess up anybody. And as a result, he perhaps gets radicalized himself. He sees a bunch of radicals killing his family. And as a result, he gets radicalized as well. And he joins the Khalistani movement there. And he grows up and is trained by them. And then he takes revenge on the people that perhaps killed his family. Now, that's theory one. Now, theory two is a little different. Theory two is that his family is fine. Like, they survived. It's all cool. But they're not his family is not Khalistani, and they refuse to be. But the Khalistanis there in maybe his village or whatever, his little band, maybe they want, they're offended that he's not Khalistani. And perhaps he's already trying to be in the military, maybe even, right? And perhaps they're like, oh, your kid's in the freaking military, and maybe like as a result, out of hatred, the Khalistani people there just cook his family, and as a result, he just destroys. This actually could make sense now that I'm thinking about this. He destroys them, and this actually could make a lot of sense. Actually, maybe he was in the military. Maybe he was like trying to be like a recruit, right? Maybe he was trying to be a recruit, and the Khalistani people there were offended. And perhaps they're out there looking for him or some bullshit. And he's not there. And as a result, his freaking family's just like destroyed. You know, we see like, and again, this does make sense, right? Because I don't think we see any footage of people being slaughtered in like a city, which is where I think, again, my history on this is dog shit. But I think the majority of this genocide occurred in Delhi, right? That's where it would probably happen. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. And so, the fact that in the first movie we do see a older gentleman being dragged by his turban and presumably about to get killed, I do think this might make sense. You know, maybe this makes a lot of sense. So maybe they're offended. They're like, oh, why'd you joining the military now? And as a result, he slaughters them, and then he's caught. All right. and he's caught and he's up there for death penalty or freaking life sentence, whatever the hell that is. And then, you know, Maddie shows up and he's like, घातक हो नहीं घायल हो इसलिए घातक हो. And then we get Dhurandhar. But I would honestly that's all cool, but I honestly would rather see the first theory play out. I feel like that'd be more cinematic, because I feel like that's more of a, I don't know, who knows with this guy. Aditya Dhar, the director, he's gonna pull up anything he makes is gonna be insane in this movie. But theory 1, I feel like would be so intense if you see like that massacre occur, and then you see like a young Jaskirat Singh Rangi kind of like grow up, and he just has the revenge in his mind, and he eventually takes it. But after taking the revenge, he's like, oh fuck, what did I do? And then you know, maybe then he reverts back and he's like, you know, going to be redeemed by his training or whatnot. But, you know, I don't know. The more I think about it, theory 2 makes way more sense. Theory 1 feels like it could be very compelling to watch on the big screen, but theory 2 makes a lot more sense to me, because we see so many like clips of him training. You know, if he's training for that long, and he looks young while he's training, right? So like if he's training for that long and all that, and we see images of him being young, and it seems like he's freaking going at it, like at people in a city, in a town, right? That's not Pakistan, India. It's going to be in India. Now, I don't see why on earth he would be doing that, other than if he's already trained, right? And it's not even like, okay, it would make sense. Theory 1 would make sense if the footage that we saw of him going crazy in like India as a young guy, if he didn't look so professional while holding a gun, right? If he was like a little more chaotic, but this dude's like holding his weapons like he's trained already. So I really do think that maybe he was already an army guy, and he like slaughtered some Khalistanis because like they were offended, like I said, and they wanted to like, you know, cook his family. So yeah, that's my theory. Those two are my theories. I ain't got much else to say about this. What do you guys think? Who the heck do you think he was? We're gonna find out pretty soon anyways, but I probably should have made this video earlier, because, you know, but fuck it. You know, that's what I think. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, see ya.